Okay, awesome. So early stage solo founder, VC funded, you're building optimally, you are pre-revenue. And what made you want to join this program?
So one correction, we are not pre-revenue. We
Oh,
have five paying customers, and more in the pipeline. Um, so yeah, we have some early traction. Now, what made me want to grow, or what made me want to like join this program and think about LinkedIn as a growth channel is this realization that the early customers that I got were really they I converted them because of my story and my expertise. And I kind of realized early on, okay, I think that's what I need to lean into. Um, Not so much like, I mean, yes, of course, Optimally needs a website and we need all of the other things that a company needs. But knowing that the feedback I was getting was like, hey, Apoorva, you really know what you're doing and we want to work with you. Wanted to kind of lean into that and, made me realize I should be thinking about that more strategically as a growth channel. It's like me, myself, and my personal brand.
yeah. I mean, and I think that's why we see the executive profiles do so much better than the brand pages, like the corporate pages, is because people want to build a relationship with that individual human and like see what they're all about. So that, I mean, I think that makes sense on a lot of levels for me. What has the program done for you? What have you gotten out of it?
I think the biggest thing it's it's helped me with, and I'm like probably guilty of not posting as much as I could have or should have, but I will say like I started the program. I had not fully transitioned out of my corporate role, and so just kind of started posting. But it gave me one, like you just gave me a lot of like practical advice on what works and what doesn't, and that then I started to kind of develop a template and give myself ideas for what content to be putting out there. But the biggest thing for me was like giving me the courage and confidence to tell my story. Because I could write about AI search till the cows come home, but now I know from the results I have seen through inbound that people aren't reaching out to me about that. I mean, they are, but they're also reaching out to me because the way that I've put out content on LinkedIn has been from like a founder-led, story-led perspective, and that's really what's resonating with them. Um, and it's like it's a cherry on top that I'm also tackling a problem that they care about and they want to learn more about.
Yeah. So tell me about the inbound it's been generating. What's been happening?
Yeah, so I haven't done enough posting actually about the business. That is like on my list of to-dos. But the content I've put out there, it really has been to build a foundation for my personal brand. And so the thing that it's done for me that's been really helpful is and very relevant to what I was doing today before this call has gotten me a lot of inbound for technical co-founders and CTO candidates. I am actively hiring for this position, and of course I have a network, but the type of inbound I've gotten now, I don't think I could have gotten had I not started to really build this story for myself and for Optimally on LinkedIn. And it's not just like direct inbound. It'll be like people in my network that are like, oh my God, I see what you're doing. That's so cool. Like here, talk to this person that I know. So that alone, I think I've had over 50, 55 or so, 54, 55 inbounds, just
Oh my
from
God.
yeah, just for kids. So like I'm like drowning in inbounds from that perspective, which is a good thing. I just spent like 2 hours talking to one of the candidates that reached out to me in this way. She reached out like a few weeks ago. We had an initial call, and then this was kind of like our more in-depth call. And I was like, oh my God, I would have never come across this person had I not put out my story the way that I had. It wasn't just about the company and the vision and what I'm building, but she is also a entrepreneurial, like multi. She's like founded a couple of companies, and she's also a mom, like me. And so the specific post that she really resonated with, I did one on like Diane Keaton and being a mom and in tech, and also just like being a mom starting a company, and she reached out because of that.
That is incredible. And it's not, you've been in the program for 5 weeks. Like, it's not like you've been at this for a long time. Do you know, like, can you guess how many times you've posted since you started?
5. maybe like I think I've been trying to do multiple, there were a couple weeks where I did 2 posts a week, but yeah. And the other thing is I will say I didn't start posting until a week into the program because I was still at Discord and I was transitioning out of my corporate job into doing this full
Into
time.
this. Incredible. So in 4 weeks, you generated that volume of inbound is literally blowing my mind. That's amazing.
Yes.
And so then you kind of think about, well, what happens when you start shifting and, doing less of kind of, I mean, I think you should always weave in founder story, personal journey, right? But as you start to shift your content into more of like the AI LLM search specifically around like product features and kind of things you're seeing and trends and insights, you can imagine the kind of like inbound and volume that you'll start generating for those topics too.
100%. Yes. And it's been a little bit, I mean, I think it's been a good thing because as I've started posting, I've also noticed shifts in my own LinkedIn feed. And so it's actually giving me good intel on like where my unique perspective is or should be and how to position myself. And so that also has been helpful. It's not like I've done a bunch of posting about Optimally or this problem space yet, but I must have done something because my feed suddenly kind of changed. And it's giving me very relevant insights just about the market that I'm in.
One of the things that I hear from people is that they're really busy and they don't have time to be on LinkedIn. What would you say to that as kind of like the CEO and founder of a company that you're wearing a million hats? Um, what would you say to someone that's like, "Yep, I don't have time to do it."
Well, as someone who was like this not that long ago, I will say you can always make time for relationship building. And if you think of LinkedIn as a channel for relationship building at scale, which you're going to do anyway, right? As a founder, as a business owner, then yeah, you make time for it. It might be kind of a weird hours like that it is for me. I think I'm like catching up on my feed between 11 to 11:30 at night. And then my posting, even if I schedule a post, I try to post earlier in the morning because of my kiddo drop-off schedule so I can engage in the post early. Um, and so it's just carving out the time that you have. And again, if someone like me can put in like as minimal of effort as I have and still get that much inbound, like I'm very excited also for what I'm gonna get to see from a LinkedIn growth perspective once I'm able to commit more time. But I guess what I would say is like even the let's say an hour a day that I'm spending now has been like so effective. And so yeah, definitely a worthwhile investment from a
Oh,
time
I love
perspective.
I love that. Um, okay, so then final question. What do you think is the most valuable thing you've gotten out of the program? So you kind of talked about like confidence and putting yourself out there. Is there like a tactical piece or strategy that you're like, oh, this was a really helpful unlock for me?
I think the biggest one honestly has been feedback from you, Caitlin. I don't know how scalable that is, but a lot of this is you know, learn by doing. And yeah, there's like a lot of like the content is out there in terms of how to optimize your profile and like what templates to use. But the most valuable thing about this program is getting that like more direct feedback from you, and also being in a peer group that's learning this together. There's a little bit of accountability there and like FOMO to share and to post more. So I'm hoping to kind of take that also with me, even once the cohort ends.
Amazing. All right, Apurva, I'm so happy for you and like so excited to see what you do with this and follow along. And every time I see people from, the program, I see all their posts and stuff. It just makes me so happy. So, anyway, really appreciate you doing the interview with me. And I am excited to see like what Content 2.0 looks like for you.
Yes, me too. Keep you posted.
Thank you.